welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will be sewing Simplicity 1370. It's a skirt pattern. I believe I showed you you'll see like my couple of mistakes I made and things and how I got through that. So I hope you all enjoy the video. Let me know in the end what you think, and thanks for watching.
Okay, I've already stay stitched pieces 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my darts in the front and the back pieces. And I'm trying to make sure I line it up. And I think I'm over. Okay, I may have that spot on. We'll see. It's off by a little bit, but who's perfect, right? I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah, it'll be okay. So now that I have all of these pinned for my darts, I'm going to take them to the machine and I'm just going to stitch right here. I'm not going to back stitch right here because I'm just going to tie it off at the end to try to prevent the bubble. Okay, so now that I've done my darts and my 2 front pieces, and pressed them towards the center, it says with right sides together. I'm going to first find the right sides, okay? With right sides together. It wants me to stitch 6 inches from the upper edge. So I'm just going to take my seam gauge and measure down from the top 6 inches. And say we 5/8 because that's 1.5. It should be about right here. So okay, so when I go to the machine and stitch, that's my 5/8 seam allowance. I should be stitching right here and stop right here. So from here to here. Okay, so now that I have sewn the front pieces together, I'm going to take the right side and the left side wrap, and I want to fold it, my seam allowance, and basically I'm just going to hem it. I'm going to take my seam gauge and press all around. I'm not going to do the notch, so I'm going to leave this part open, but just go from here and here. And so now since I've pressed it, I'm just going to roll the raw edge up to that press line and roll again. And then I guess we're gonna clip instead of pin. I think I'll do better with that. And then I'm also gonna do the left front wrap as well, the same way. Now that I have the left and the right front wrap hemmed, I'm going to base the left wrap to the front of my pants. So matching my notches. And this is with, hold up, okay. Matching my notches, I was just making sure that this is the right side of the pants to the wrong side of my wrap. Right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure that I pin this all, well, pin, clip, you know, all around. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the machine and baste where I have clipped. So now that I have it based, I'm going to also attach the right side front to the front of the pants as well in the same way. And does anyone have any summer sewing plans that they intend to finish before the summer is out? I know this was my one thing that I was like, oh, I have to make it before the summer ends. Pin the pocket facing to the pants, so with right sides together. No, I'm saying pants to the shorts, to the skort. Hey. With right sides together, I'm going to find my notches and the dots. They should match up with that dot, and then this dot with that dot. And one more for good measure. Okay. And then I'm going to go and just stitch down a 5/8 seam allowance. Okay, I have stitched the pocket facings to the shorts, and now I'm going to press it out. So I went ahead and pressed that one already, but I'm going to press my seam that I just sewed. And then I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to stitch the seam allowance to the facing. So I'm going to stitch probably in between here. Okay, so I have understitched my pocket facings. Looking pretty good. Ooh, okay, don't mess it up. It looks good. So now it's time to attach the actual pocket and sides. So with right sides together, I'm going to match up my dots and then my notches that I have here for the pocket and the pocket facing. So it should match up. It don't really look like it's matching up, huh? Yeah, it's not really matching like it's supposed to be. It's really not giving what it's supposed to give. So I must have cut something out wrong. Maybe I cut this too big. I'm not sure. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to try to make sure it match right here. And up here. If I slide it, yeah, that ain't gonna work. If I slide it, that's too much. That's over that. And I don't want that, so okay. Okay. I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna make sure that this matches. And then I'm gonna cut this excess off because, I mean, my hand can go in here, so. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to stitch from here around and down on both sides. Okay, so I have attached the side, front, and the pockets, and as you can see, it's not too bad. So I am going to cut this off later, but I don't think it messed it up, so it should be okay. And then it said to press the pocket towards the front, and so I've already done that. And then the next step would be to attach the back to the front. So I'm going to take my back piece with right sides together and attach it right here, finding my notches. So I'm just going to go to the machine and stitch right here along the inner leg seam for both sides. Okay, so now I have stitched it together and pressed my seams, and I just pressed it flat. So now I'm going to stitch the inner seam together. So it should connect here to where I previously stitched down the 6 inches. So with right sides together, make sure I find my notches. Get my pins that I always leave. Go and stitch from here. Oh, you can't see. From here and make it meet this seam right here. Okay, so I have stitched and met back up to the front right here, and then I went ahead and pressed it, and now it is time to attach the back and the front on the sides. So with the right sides together, I'm gonna attach it, finding my notches. Okay, so I'm gonna go and sew the side and then also sew this side. It was at this moment that I realized I had sewn all of my seams and I had no place to put my zipper. So I had forgot to leave this opening right here in the back for the zipper. So I had to seam rip this, but it's all good now. So reading is fundamental. So now I'm going to move on to the yoke portion, and basically this will be like the waistband portion of it, and I've already interfaced my pieces. So it says to attach the front to the back at the side seams. So let me try to, of course we're right sides together, but let me try to see, find my notches. So I'm going to do the yoke facings the same way. It does say to do it at a later step, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So again, with right sides together, I'm going to find my notches. Okay, so I'm going to go and just sew across here for both. Okay, so I have stitched the yoke part, sides and, hold on, front and back together. So now it's time to attach it to the skirt with right sides together. Oh Lord, where are my notches? Notches. Okay. And try to find the notches over here on my skirt. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm gonna go and sew all around, and then we'll come back and see what's next. Okay, and now I'm just gonna trim this down some, and I will press the seam allowance towards the yoke part, and then I'm going to attach my facing. So I have pressed the yoke part, seam allowance towards the yoke, and pressed it out real good all around. And now I'm going to take the yoke facing with the right sides together and pin it to the yoke. So of course I want to match up my side seams. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to go and stitch across here. Okay, so now that I have that sewn, I'm going to, ooh girl. So now that I have that sewn, I'm going to trim this as well and get ready to understitch. So like I said, I'm going to press this out, but press the seam allowance toward my facing right here and then understitch. Okay, now I have understitched the facing. So the directions say to turn it towards the inside and give it a good press. So I'm going to turn to the inside all around, give it a good press, and it should overlap. And then I'm going to stitch in the ditch or in the groove, as they say. Alrighty, so I stitched in the groove, tried my best to do it in the groove, and it should look like this on the inside. The last few steps are to add the zipper to the back of the skirt, to add a hook and eye, and then you want to also sew the bottom, hem the bottom of the pants. Oh, I can't talk, but yeah, hem the bottom of the pants. So I would love to know what you all think of how I came out in the comment section down below. Please let me know. And as always, thanks for watching and be blessed.